very warm welcome to one and all present here. This time has came to us falling to this beautiful property called Fairmount, Jaipur. And I am privileged to bring you all to this lovely, lovely city that we call Pink City, Jaipur. We are obliged and privileged to have such a huge, amazing group of people, bunch of dignitaries with us today. And I would like to welcome you to the beautiful Pink City, India, Jaipur for CIBJO Congress 2023. I just want to know, if we guys are ready to begin, I'll request you to bring your hands the loudest you all could. Come on, everyone. I just want to see the clappings around. The Congress is being hosted by the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council and National Gems and Jewellery Council of India. Jaipur being the capital of the Indian state called Rajasthan and major gems and jewelry centers welcomes the delegates around the globe, around the world to 2023 CIBJO Congress. CIBJO Congress serves as the official gathering place for the World Jewelry Confederation's Assembly of Delegates and are also the venue for the annual meetings of CIBJO's sectorial commissions, where amendments can be sectorial commission introduced to the organization defective directors and the international industry standards of diamond, colored stone, pearls, gem labs, precious metals, corals, responsible sourcing, known as the Blue Books. Talking about congressors are also where the program of the World Jewelry Confederation's Education Foundation, which we call WJCEF, and CIBJO's ongoing cooperation with the United Nations is reported upon. Not just that, in particular upon when we talk about it is in particular its commitment to UN's Sustainable Development Goals. And we are privilegedly standing here with all of you making this mark and having a set of dignitaries who are coming to the dais to take it over. But before they begin, in India, we really feel obliged to bring the God to the dais before we begin anything. So I would love to tell you all that we are going to begin the lamp lighting before we begin the show. So foremostly, I am very obliged, privileged to bring the first foremost name, that is the President of CIBJO, requesting Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri to please join us on the stage. Bring your hands together, everyone. Requesting Mr. Vipul Shah, sir, our chairman for GJEPC. Now to the person who is not just the Vice President of CIBJO India and also the Chairman of NGJCI, Mr. Pramod Agrawal. Requesting our Director, Department of Commerce, Government of India, Mr. Arulanandan, to please join us on the stage. Bring your hands together for him, everyone. To Mr. Feriel, Zerouki, the President of World Diamond Council, to please join us on the stage and be a part of this beautiful beginning. Now requesting Mr. Yoram Dvash, the President of WFDB, to please join us. And to the set of amazing people adding on the gem, I could say, Mr. Damien, Cody, the President of ICA, to please join us on the stage. And here, bringing a light to this beautiful day, the grand and huge beginning that we all are auspicious about for this conference. I would request our dignitaries to please take the seats. A huge round of applause for everyone with us to the dais. Talking about this beautiful state, I forgot to tell you about India. India is a country which is famous for its rich tradition and diverse culture. Here in Jaipur, we got a chance for us to come together and enjoy the rich culture and beauty of this beloved nation. So, moving further, I would request our President, CIBJO, to please take over this mic and greet each one sitting with us in the room. So, requesting Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, sir, to please take over the stage.
It's on, right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to start this opening ceremony, this Congress, which has been a privilege for us to be here, but you will listen during my address. Just as an information, we are online on the CIBJO website, live. The people that is following us, just go into the CIBJO website, just click the button to be online directly, and they will be with us. So we are followed by, let's say, the entire world in this moment, despite the time zones. Mr. Vipul Shah, Chairman of the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, Mr. Pramod Agrawal, Chairman of the National Gems and Jewellery Council of India, Mrs. Feriel Zerouki, President of the World Diamond Council, Mr. Yoram Dvash, President of the World Federation of Diamond Bourses, Mr. Damien, Cody, President of the International Colored Gemstones Association, Mr. Anup Mehta, President of the Bharat Diamond Exchange, Mr. Arulanandan, Director, Department of Commerce, Union Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, CIBJO members, colleagues, and dear friends. Welcome to the beautiful pink city of Jaipur, the state of Rajasthan, and the Republic of India. Welcome to the 2023 Congress, which I now declare officially open. This has been a long time coming. The last we gathered together physically was a full Congress in the same place was almost 4 years ago at the 2019 CIBJO Congress in Manama, Bahrain. There was, of course, a virtual CIBJO Congress in November 2021, which concluded with one-day in-person meeting of our General Assembly in Vicenza, Italy, in March 2022. But in itself was symbolic of how much our industry and our world has changed since we last assembled as we do today in this beautiful city of Jaipur. I will reflect on the significance of the past 7 years and in just a few moments But first, allow me to stress the importance of having the Congress take place this year in India. Many of you know India well as citizens and residents, of course, or as people who have traveled here in many occasions, as I have done since the last 35 years, as I have been lucky to do. But others are visiting for the first time, and I imagine that for you, the experience is already overwhelming. I have heard few comments about those that have been fortunate to go around India, landing in India few days before the Congress, and the people that after the Congress is going to visit the beauty of this country. This is a country that excites all the senses, and you need to study it carefully because there almost certainly are elements and truth that take time to be revealed. India, which is the world's seventh largest country in terms of square kilometers, is the home to its largest population, 1.41 billion people and counting. Its economy is today judged to be the world's fifth largest, and by 2030 it is expected to be sitting in third place worldwide. Extreme poverty remains a challenge, but it was halved between 2011 and 2019. There are over 5 million software engineers living in India, and in this August, it became only the fourth nation ever to successfully land in a spacecraft on the moon. Jewelry and gemstones are central to India, just as India is central to the jewelry and gemstones business. The industry contributes 7% of the country's GDPs and almost 60% of its total merchandise export. In fact, in 2020, India's gems and jewelry sectors were among the top 7 exporters of any product globally. The industry today provides employment for more than 4.64 million workers, nearly to 5. India is the world's second largest consumer of gold, a major percentage of which goes into the production of jewelry. More than 14 out of every 15 diamonds are cut in this country. The Indian jewelry market was $85 billion in 2022 and is projected to grow more than 8% per annum, reaching a size of $127 billion by 2027. The city of Jaipur is an important participant in the Indian industry. Long a center of skilled craftsmen, it has a tradition of enameling and gem setting that is hundreds of years old. But it is today most famous as colored gemstone production and trade center. It is estimated that the number of people employed in established factories and cottage industry, both in the city and surrounding areas, in between 200 and 300,000, with more than half of them involved in gemstones cutting. The individual most responsible for us all being here today is Pramod Agrawal, a son of Jaipur, and one of its most celebrated gemstones cutter and jewelry manufacturer. In addition to being chairman of the National Gems and Jewelry Council of India, he is vice president of CIBJO. When I suggested bringing the Congress to Jaipur, he never hesitated, promising that it would be an unforgettable experience in the most positive sense of the word. I can guarantee it will, in no small part, due to these tireless efforts. And I want personally, on behalf of the entire industry, thank you, Pramod, for your effort. Thank you very much. The Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, the industry largest association in the country, and possibly the world, and we in CIBJO are very proud, delighted, happy, and honored to have the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council as member of CIBJO since ever, with great support. As well, we try to do our best to support India, the Council, Mumbai, Jaipur, Calcutta, New Delhi, Bangalore, and all the other important cities that I can list, but it will take, half an hour more. And we are privileged to be here today with all of you. And personally, I feel very honored and touched by your generous, wonderful, exceptional hospitality. Here, allow me to pay tribute to its dynamic chairman, Vipul Shah. Thank you, Vipul. And Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council CEO, Sabasayachi Ray, the man behind the scene. Thank you, Sabasayachi. Put together a talented team of Congress organizers led by Vikrant Pradham in Mumbai. Vikrant, where are you? He's in the room. And Varun Chulat in Jaipur. Where is Varun? Okay. None of the CIBJO Congresses would get off the ground without the support of the people on the ground, that they all have done a tremendous job. Thank you for that. I would also like to thank our Congress sponsors for making this all possible, and the first and foremost, our prime sponsors, Gemfield, whose CEO, Sean Gilbertson, is with us today in Jaipur. Our Sean, where are you? And our long-term partner, the Italian Exhibition Group, whose president, Lorenzo Cagnoni, the man primarily responsible for transforming into Italy's largest jewelry show organizer, sadly passed away just a few weeks ago. But Italian Exhibition Group is proudly represented here by Marco Carniello, his Global Exhibition Director for Jewelry and Fashion. Marco, where are you? Allow me also to thank our sponsor, the Wolgol Council, John Mulligan. Thank you very much. The Rawala Industries with our good friend Pramod. Thank you. RMC. Thank you very much. The BS Group, Feriel, thank you very much. GIA, Tom, okay. AWDC, the Platinum Guilds, you. HRD Antwerp, Ellen, where are you in the room? Somewhere, okay. as well as the sponsor here in India of the various events and dinners that you can see listed here that I don't read, but I would like to give a big hug to all the sponsors and thank for this wonderful contribution to make it happen. We are particularly grateful for the support of the Indian government, in particular the Minister of Commerce and Industry, that later will be seen on the screen for his message, and the Minister of Micro and Small Medium Enterprises. The government of the state of Rajasthan also lent its support and will be privileged to have the Chief Minister address us later on. I want also to pay tribute to Nitin Kamadelwal, I think is correct, maybe, and to all the people that has been here to help us. I would like to mention each one of you. It will be difficult for me to pronounce correctly, but please have each one of you my sincere thanks and appreciation for your help and support. Although none of us were aware of it when we met in 2019, the CIBJO Congress in Bahrain, a health crisis was quietly developing in China that just 3 months later would mushroom into a global catastrophe, the COVID pandemic, which impacted upon every country on the face of this earth, shutting down economies, grounding air travel, keeping people at home, and exciting a terrible toll in lives and suffering, provide us all with a common experience to like of which we could never imagine it. A number of us have suffered losses in their own family, including Pramod. I may remember your mother, and I was present online to the funeral, which was very special experience to me. But please accept for you and your family our condolences. Thank you very much. But us, as humans are inclined to do, after the initial shock, we began to adapt to the new circumstances, and in doing so forever changed the way in which we work and the way we communicate with one another. The world post-COVID was very different to the one that existed before. While many were concerned about the impact of our industry, the jewelry business recovered quickly from the initial shutdown, in part because some of our traditional competition, like the travel and tourism industry, were not as lucky. But what the COVID experience definitely demonstrated was the inherent resilience of our product. COVID was only one of a number of transformative events that took place over the 4 years period. Another more specifically to our line of business was the massive growth of the laboratory-grown diamond sector, coupled with an as dramatic fall in the price of laboratory-grown diamond, and jewelry retailers are still coming to terms with the phenomenon, but business models are changing, as is the way in which we market and regard fine jewelry. The next bombshell to explode literally this time was in Ukraine on February 24, 2022, when Russian forces invaded the country, and sanctions against the Russian government soon followed, complicating life of our industry, for which Russia has been major supplier of diamond, gold, platinum, and other precious materials. The sanctions were not evenly imposed, but the G7 countries which collectively account for more than half of all jewelry sales each year, recently announced their intention to introduce strictest measures that will prevent the import for all diamond and jewelry sets with diamonds which originally were mined in Russia. CIBJO was part of a collaborative industry effort facilitated by the World Diamond Council led by Feriel Zerouki to develop what has been called the G7 Diamond Protocol, which is a mechanism aimed at enabling members of our industry meet G7 requirements. That means that industry have enough power to put in place tools to enable the industry to grow and flourish. CIBJO is not a political body. Our obligation is to protect the interest of all our members and our members' members, regardless of size, where they are located geographically, and in what part of the chain of distribution they operate in. We do not make or enforce law. That is the role of governments. Our job is to help develop and prescribe policies to enable the industry to operate within the law in as transparent, as ethical, as sustainable, as responsible, as honest way as possible. When we recommend a course of action, we look not only at whether it meets its goal, but also its impact, both intentional and unintentional, on the communities that depend upon our industry for their livelihood. It would be a tragedy if a policy designed to address one humanitarian crisis ends up precipitating another. We have seen it happen before in 2010, when hastily prepared legislation in the US Congress devastated artisanal gold mining communities in the Great Lakes region of Africa, upending the lives of millions. It's been said often, but it is certainly more relevant now after the experience of our past 4 years, that if there was not a World Jewellery Confederation, or CIBJO, as we refer to it, it would have been invented. But we most certainly exist, and in 3 years' time, we will celebrate the 100th year since our founding in 1926, confirming our status as the oldest international jewelry association by far. During period of uncertainty, and this certainly is one of them, people search for structure, for harmonized rules and standards, and terminology that is universally understood to mean the same thing. They look for a forum in which they can gather together with their colleagues from across the world along the length of value chain and discuss issues of common interest and concern. They look for a body in which they can place their trust, which will be represented them internationally and defend their rights. All of this is what CIBJO does for the jewelry industry. For those familiar with the CIBJO Congress, much of the coming 3 days will be taken up by meetings of various commissions where our blue books of industry standards and nomenclature, which will be discussed and reviewed. On Thursday, during the session of our General Assembly, our acting President, Sector A, Ken Scarrett, will present the educational program that has been developed for the new CIBJO Academy. What you will see is at your disposal. Ken has done 1 year incredible research, job and preparation to let the entire members of the industry singularly to better know what are the rules and the way to exercise this wonderful profession in order to let each one of them be helped to take decision to grow and flourish. And India is particularly considered in this development. By the way, Ken Scarratt is here and you will listen directly from him. 2 weeks ago, I was in New York for a meeting at the United Nations, in whose Economic and Social Council, CIBJO, is represented the jewelry business sector since 2006. A primary purpose, the gathering was consider how the world is doing in meetings and sustainable development goals at the midway point from when they were introduced in 2015 to when they are meant to reach fruition. Let me add a little note on that, because when referred to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, I like to consider one of the most important, even though all of them are essential to our future, is partnership. And the partnership that we have established within the UN and thanks to the goals of the United Nations are important. And I want to mention the wonderful initiative that we have taken as member of the Watch and Jewelry Initiative 2030 in several areas: gender equality, environment, and many others. And I want to thank the Executive Director, Iris van der Werken. She is here somewhere. Thank you very much. I want to express my appreciation to Lisa Kennisberg for the partnership that we have with the Initiative of Arts and Culture. Thank you, Lisa. I want to express my appreciation to the chairman of ISO Technical Committee 174, Mr. Jonathan Jodri, for the incredible effort that we are doing to bring and contribute once more and again to the ISO standard developments. I want to acknowledge Mr. Larry Drummond, the CEO of the International Precious Metal Initiative. Thank you very much. And I was privileged to attend the event in Arizona a few months ago, where I expressed very clearly that we represent 50% of what you produce and your member produce. So you need, you and your member, to pay attention to us more carefully. Thank you very much. And I want to acknowledge the presence of my good friend, the ladies coming from the sub-Saharan country that we help them since the last 4 years. Longo, could you please stand up? Thank you very much. The Jewelry Association of Africa, with our colleagues that are here today, and where we were able to build a program from A to Z with Stephen and CIBJO team in order to let this entity to be a reality, and is today a reality, and they are here, and we want to honor you with your presence here, because I think it's important, and Africa as well is important for the world. So please cooperate together. So this is cooperation. When we talk about goals, Feriel knows with all the activities that we have done all around the world, the BIRS has done a lot of elements in several countries, in Africa and not only. And I can list and mention from South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and thank also to the activity of Yoram with the World Federation, we have done a lot of stuff. This is cooperation. As we are doing cooperation with India, for India, because India is essential to the world. I will express this very clearly. One person who was not able to join us in Jaipur today, as he usually has since 2006, is Anifa Mezzoui. She was the head of the United Nations Social Economy Department in New York, veteran UN official, who has supported us in following to the broader discussion of peace, security, and sustainable development going on with the General Assembly at the UN system at large. For your information, CIBJO is considered within the United Nations in the top 5 non-governmental organizations contributing to the UN goals. I ask that she contribute few words to my address today, and she choose to quote the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who last week addressed the already wrangling environmental crisis, saying that history is coming for the planet breakers. Just in the weeks prior to the UN meetings, the world has been forest fires in Canada, the burning of old town in Hawaii, and the destruction of entire cities in Libya by torrential rains. Ladies and gentlemen, the climate is changing. John Mulligan knows very well because he follows for World Gold Council and for us all these elements. And thank you, John, for your contribution. Quoting Secretary General Guterres again, Anifa wrote that we cannot afford the same old broken records, scapegoating and waiting for others to move first. CIBJO and the jewelry industry must also play its part, and I want to thank each one of you and those that physically participate with great dedication to go around the world attending all these meetings. I will conclude my words today on a personal note, although I know that my thoughts are shared by many of you in this room. Earlier this year, we lost 2 industry giants, Roland Nafto and Henry Levy, who passed away just weeks apart. Both contributed massively to CIBJO and our business in general, and both were close friends of mine and of many of you. Roland served alongside me as Vice President and for almost 2 decades as President of Sector A, where he oversaw the preparation, updating, and maintenance of the Blue Books. He was Swiss-born, but an extremely proud American. He was also a founding organizer of the American Gem Trade Association of GTA, whose president and CEO are present today. Thank you for being with us. Where he served as president for 4 years. He was a founding organizer of International Colorstone Association, and Damien, Cody is here today following his steps, and served as its first president for another 4 years. He was the founding organizer and first chairman of Gemstone Industry and Laboratory Conference, and served as board of governors of Gemological Institute of America for 12 years. Tom Moses, I think, is in the room. Harry was born in Turkey into a family that had arrived from Iran, but he spent the bulk of his life in London. For most of us, was the quintessential English gentleman. He served alternatively as Vice President of Colorstone Commission and President and Vice President of the Diamond Commission. Today chaired by Udi Chantal that is in the room, and served 2 terms as president of the London Diamond Bourse. Today we have Alan Cohen here. Alan, I don't see you somewhere. Okay. Okay. I have all the lights here, so very good. Thank you very much, Alan, for your presence. And was president of the GEMA, the Gemological Association of Great Britain, and president of the British Jewellery Association. Here represent with an interesting delegation from United Kingdom. Thank Ben, I don't know where you are, and all the colleagues, and John Han, all the colleagues are here today. One of his crowning achievements came in July 2015 when the International Organization of Standardization, ISO, published the international standard 18323 entitled Jewelry Consumer Confidence in the Diamond Industry. It was the first ISO standard related to diamonds, and Harry served as chairman of the working group. Roland and Harry will be missed in this Congress. I would also like to remember 2 other giants of the industry, Andrew Cody, brother of this. If you turn and you look at the screen, please. There are the picture of our friends that we missed very much, who was president of ICA, and Jose Hess, who was my predecessor as CIBJO president, who passed away in February 2021. We honor them and many others who come before them. I want to express my last feeling, thanking each one of you for your contribution, personal and collective contribution to this industry. I have had the privilege to have collected friends, and I want to quote a number, but I start with Mr. Kotari seated here. I have the privilege to be hosted in your wonderful house. I met your wife, dedicated to social activity. I would like you to know that Mrs. Kotari every day, every single day, she goes to the Jaipur hospital to help the people. And she does with dedication, obviously at no cost, but on the contrary, giving an example how the people may contribute to the well-being of other people. Mr. Kotari, thank you, and your wife for what you're doing. Apart the immense contribution to the jewelry industry, as all these friends on the right and on the left from India that are here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to India, welcome to Jaipur, welcome to the CIBJO Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for all of your kind words. And I could really feel we have so many people supporting us, being the backbone of this conference today. And with this, I am privileged to bring up the next personality with all of us on the stage to take over the audience and win their hearts. None other than the chairman of Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, Mr. Vipul Shah. I request you all to please bring your hands together for him.
Good morning. Honorable Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, CIBJO President, Mr. Pramod Agrawal, Vice President, CIBJO and Chairman of National Gem and Jewellery Council of India, Mr. R. Arulanandan, Director, Department of Commerce, Government of India, Ms. Feriel Zerouki, President, World Diamond Council, Mr. Yoram Dvash, President, World Federation Diamond Bourses, Mr. Damien, Cody, President ICA, esteemed friends from the trade, media, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you all today in the historic city of Jaipur, the Pink City, where centuries of tradition meet the vibrant spirit of our ever-evolving industry. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the World Jewellery Confederation, CIBJO, for entrusting the GJEPC and the National Gem and Jewellery Council of India with the honor of hosting the 2023 CIBJO Congress. Jaipur is a fitting location as it is a living, breathing testament to the craft and artistry that our industry possesses. Today, we estimate that our industry employs around 2 lakh skilled individuals in and around Jaipur, carrying on a tradition of enameling and gem cutting that has stood the test of time. As a global leader, India continues to shape the gem and jewellery landscape, serving as both a beacon of time-honored craftsmanship and a hub for innovation. The Indian industry not only caters to its large domestic market, but also exports $40 billion worth of exquisite gems and jewelry to all the world's major markets and well-known brands. Befitting its leadership position in processing of diamonds and gemstones like emerald and tanzanite, India adheres to ethical sourcing practices as well as contributes to the development of industry standards. However, the current scenario is different. The industry is facing challenges, but it is a temporary one. We have just come out of COVID crisis, and the geopolitical crisis of Ukraine and Russia conflict resulted in downturn in demand in consuming nations of US and China. India is the only beacon of hope as far as jewelry demand goes. When other luxury products have multiplied their value many times in last decade, jewelry value has not kept pace with them. As a sector, we need to invest more into marketing to get that value. We spend a fraction of what is being spent by holidays or watches or cell phones, our greatest competitors as a category. GJEPC, understanding the issue, is today contributing more than $3.5 million in promotion of diamonds and gold jewelry to the organizations like Natural Diamond Council and World Gold Council to continue with generic promotion of diamonds and gold jewelry respectively. I appeal to CIBJO and all its members associations to also increase the share of the promotion fund by contributing towards promotion of jewelry as a category to the best of their abilities during these very rough times. Whether it is diamonds, colored gemstones, lab-grown diamonds, or plain metal jewelry, we all should try to grow the jewelry pie and gain share of the wallet from other categories. On the colored gemstone front, GJEPC, other than promoting the gemstones and gemstone-studded jewelry, is regularly hosting rough gemstone shows, also with Jewelers Association, Jaipur. We will be developing the largest gem bourse in the world in Jaipur, India. I would like to inform you that the Kimberley process source protocol for rough diamonds, which started based on demand from consumers, is going through a reform cycle, and we are committed to support such reform. Consumers' confidence should be protected at any cost. So our government, with consultation from us, are also discussing with G7 countries the new measures for segregation of diamonds that they are demanding from the trade based on current geopolitical situation. However, such procedures should not disrupt the industry's operations in these very difficult times, as in India, only this industry are directly giving employment to some 5 million people. World Diamond Council, with active participation of CIBJO, had always taken a lead to come out with a protocol, which we have also supported. We have that the industry reaches common ground on this aspect with the G7 governments as soon as possible. The 2023 CIBJO Congress will also address the pressing issues and opportunities that define our industry. CIBJO Congresses have long served as the official gathering place for the world's Jewellery Confederation's Assembly of Delegates, where we discuss to shape the future of our industry in a positive manner. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come together for this Congress in India, a land of limitless opportunities and now the fastest growing economy of the world, it represents a reunification of hearts and minds in our industry. Being the first CIBJO Congress to be held in person since 2019, it is a momentous occasion that allows us to reconnect face to face with each other after more than 3 years. I thank Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, the CIBJO President, for his unwavering support and dedication. And I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Indian co-host, Mr. Chairman of the Pramod Agrawal, the National Gem and Jewellery Council of India. I'm sure that this CIBJO Congress will highlight the path towards a brighter future for the world of jewellery. May this 2023 CIBJO Congress be a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us and promoting each one of us tonight. And moving towards the most important personality, as he already said himself, I would request Mr. Pramod Agrawal, sir, Vice President, India, CIBJO, and the Chairman of National Gems and Jewellery Council, India.
Respected Sri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Commerce and Industry Minister and Consumer Affairs Minister, Government of India, Sri Arulanandan ji, Director Ministry of Commerce and Industries, Gaetano Cavalieri, President CIBJO, and my dear friend GJEPC Chairman Vipul Shah ji, Ms. Feriel, the President of WFDB, President WDC, Mr. Yoram Dvash, Damien, Cody, President ICA, and my fellow board member in CIBJO board member, and commission member, colleagues from the industry, and various association presidents, ladies and gentlemen, and media. A very good morning to all of you in this pink city, Jaipur. We are honored to host the CIBJO Congress on first time in India, that too in historical city Jaipur. I thank Gaetano Cavalieri who chosen Jaipur city. Although we talked about Delhi, Mumbai, but he said Jaipur is a beautiful city. I want to hold this in Jaipur. I thank Gaetano Cavalieri for holding Jaipur. The Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council and National Gem and Jewellery Council of India are jointly hosting this Congress. The Commerce and Industry Minister, Sri Piyush Goyal ji, a very dynamic and very humble and true friend of industry. Due to some pressing needs, he couldn't came here. He has been frequently interacting with the industry to know about hurdles and its growth, ensuring them removal also. He is actively working on the issues in consumer protection in the Ministry of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. We are privileged to have among us Sri Arulanandan ji, Director Minister of Commerce. He is very kind enough to support this Congress also, and any issue he takes it forward to the upper authorities. When I was Chairman GJEPC, I attended Bogota Congress in CIBJO, and there I requested Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri to have this in India. And thank you, Vipul bhai, to continue the legacy of our council. And you did a separate, and you just asked me to take lead to get it done. And I thanks entire team of GJEPC who's been behind it, and NJGCI, and especially Nitin Khandelwal ji from Jaipur also has been very actively working behind it. you will all agree with me that President CIBJO, Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, is very dynamic and very hardworking person. He's working very hard for global gem and jewelry industry. By putting his efforts for its betterment, he is also a great friend of Indian gems and jewelry industry, and I have seen him supporting our industry in many occasions. We are glad that more than 135 overseas delegates, including representatives of some of top global jewelry brands, are attending this Congress. A few of them must have come to Jaipur for first time attending this Congress. And the congressman delegates going to excellent opportunity of our gem and jewelry industry. The delegates can come exchange their view with each other and explore the possibility of future businesses. CIBJO is actively working on sustainability development goals, as our chairman spoken in speech. So a lot of work is going on. I'm really lucky to be part of his board as a vice chairman, and I'm also getting a lot of insightful, which can be growth for the industry in the world market. India, as you all know, India plays a very important role in gem and jewelry sector, and we have many verticals in the country, and many places. We have a large country. In our country, we have many places, manufacturing clusters are there, and we manufacture raw material, diamonds, for jewelry raw materials like diamonds and color gemstones, and including we manufacture beautiful jewelry. And as the government of India, our Honorable Prime Minister and our Commerce Minister, being very kind enough and always follow what is world market going on, and proactively our Prime Minister, everything, take care of the rules and regulation, and we being very well aware of all the FATF, all the rules for the country. And the country is very aligned with all international rules. Jewelry, since it's been an integral part of our Indian culture, it's a very, you'll see many, many unique techniques of the jewelry manufacturing in the country, and the GJEPC has got done the cluster mapping, where is they're showing the many clusters of jewelry manufacturing in the country. The city of Pink City, Jaipur, it plays very important role in gem and jewelry sector. This is the city where you'll see the only city which has very integrated 3 zones of jewelry manufacturing, and there is a laboratory and there is an institute. Along there will be also exhibition convention center, and now, as Vipul Bhai spoken earlier, there is a Bourses is coming right there. So it is within 2-kilometer dia, you have everything which is nowhere in the world, I think I have not seen. So that is in the city of Jaipur. The sector gives a lot of livelihood work, as Vipul Bhai earlier said, that more than 6 million people are working. Similarly, into the domestic industry, we have lot to work together as a synchronized, because domestic has to be strong enough. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry formed this new body, which is the National Gem and Jewellery Council of India, which is growth of the sector. And our Honorable Prime Minister vision is to make Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is encourage the industry of manufacturing in the country. I take opportunity to introduce you with the NJGCI. It is an apex body for internal trade, set up by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The NJGCI is regularly taking input and putting up the policy matters in the government, including free trade agreements, signing with the different countries. In the end, I wish that in coming 3 days, we will discuss about the future goals of this great industry and decide their path. With these words, thank you very much. Jai Hind.
We all are sure that we are going to have great time in these coming 3 days. So now my pleasure to bring up the next personality with all of us, the Director of Department of Commerce, Government of India, to the stage. I request Mr. R. Arulanandan to please take over the mic.
Good morning. Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri, President CIBJO, Mr. Pramod Agrawal, Vice President CIBJO and Chairman of National Gem and Jewellery Council of India, Ms. Feriel Zerouki, President World Diamond Council, Mr. Yoram, Dvash, President World Federation of Diamond Bourses, Mr. Damien, Cody, President International Colored Stone Association, and Mr. Alessandro Liberati, who is a Trade Commissioner posted in Delhi from Italy. And here from GJEPC, Mr. Vipul Shah, the Chairman, Mr. Kirit Bansali, the Vice Chairman, and Sabyasachi Ray, the Executive Director, and all beloved board members, and many have come physically here from GJEPC. And of course, the honorable delegates from India and abroad. Thank you. First of all, I would thank the organizers for inviting me to be part amongst you. Delegates, the oldest organization in the gem and jewellery industry, CIBJO, is here in Jaipur, holding its annual Congress. The legend is that the founder king of Jaipur, Savai Jai Singh II, in the 18th century, in 1727 around, invited artisans from all over the world, which included places like Afghanistan and even Pakistan, Kolkata, and any place who were holding eminent place of skill in the sector. And he invited all the skilled artisans and nurtured the sector by giving a space to set up their workshop. And today it is natural that CIBJO holds the Congress in such a place which has historic relevance to our sector. Friends, Government of India is committed for the development of the gem and jewellery sector. There is a separate section in the foreign trade policy with provisions for facilitating the trade in the sector. As you would be aware that in India, around 5 million skilled workforce are serving the sector, making finest jewellery across the sector. And as we are all aware that India holds an important segment in the supply chain. I am told that the CIBJO has created a separate committee for lab-grown diamond amongst its various committees. Sir, in India, the government has taken early initiative for the development of the sector. And one such initiative is creation of many new harmonized system of codes to identify jewellery made of, whether it is a jewellery made of gold, silver or platinum, and if it is studded with natural diamond, lab-grown diamond or the precious stones. We have created separate codes. So this, we expect that this will facilitate not only correct classification, but also help in correct evaluation of the gem and jewellery trade across the world that emanates from India. I take this opportunity to urge upon CIBJO, GJEPC and NGJCI to work together for finding common solutions for the collective interest and welfare of the sector. Such measures should add employment and also improve the trade further. I congratulate both GJEPC and NGJCI for coming together on a single platform. My best wishes for the success of the CIBJO Congress. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Now requesting the president of WFDB, none other than Mr. Yoram Dvash, to please take over the mic.
Your Excellency, Mr. Ashok Goyal, Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Your Excellency, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Minister of Commerce and Industry in India, the one and the only one, Mr. Gaetano Cavalieri, President of the World Jewellery Confederation, CIBJO, Mr. Vipul Shah, Chairman of the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, Mr. Pramod Agrawal, Chairman of the International Gems and Jewellery Council of India, Ms. Feriel Zerouki, President of the World Diamond Council, and Mr. Damien, Cody, President of the International Colored Gemstone Association, ICI. Colleagues, friends, and delegates, good morning. It is very exciting to visit magnificent Jaipur, the famous Pink City, the capital of Rajasthan. With the grand tradition and long history of its jewelry industry, Jaipur is an especially fitting location to hold the CIBJO Congress. I thank the organizer for inviting me to speak to you today. As President of the World Federation of Diamond Bourses, I see this as a reminder as how closely linked our industries are. Both industries are immediately affected by the conditions of the day when economies are struggling, especially in our major markets, the United States and China. The diamond and the jewelry industries both see downward trend. Moreover, the growing trend towards sustainability, social responsibility, and transparency impacts both industries and demands modification in the way we have done businesses for generations. Lastly, it's clear that the diamonds we sell are all intended to be set in jewelry, which guarantees close relationship between our two industries. Currently, due to economic conditions, our industries are both experiencing challenging times. As provider of luxury goods, our industries are among the first to be harmed. The natural diamond industry is challenged not only by external factors, but also by internal ones. The rise in the popularity of LJDs in the United States is cutting into demand, and natural diamonds are experiencing a sharp decline in sales. This, despite the fact that LJD's price is declining rapidly and they are not providing lasting value to consumers. De Beers has recognized the harm that LGDs are doing to the natural diamond industry, in which they are the major stakeholders. Therefore, they have decided to discontinue offering lightbooks for engagement rings. And more importantly, they have decided to invest $20 million in marketing programs to raise demand for natural diamonds during the upcoming holiday season in the US and China. Thank you, Feriel. The credit is for you. While this is very important, it is not enough. For this reason, the WFDB is leading a major initiative to bring together key players in the international diamond and jewelry industries to discuss practical steps to boost demand for natural diamond jewelry. I call on all of you to join us in these efforts. On another note, we are all anticipating additional limitations that the G7 countries intend to impose on the trade in rough and polished diamonds. The WFDB is now working very closely with the World Diamond Council
and with other bodies to put forward a system of industry self-regulation that would support the objectives of the G7 while limiting disruption to the industry. We are very optimistic. Yes, you can, why not? We are working together. We are very optimistic that this will be seriously considered by the G7 before additional limitations are announced. I'm sure that we will have an exciting Congress. Please speak to me individually to further discuss the points I raised. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us. And now the time has come to bring in the next one. But I must say they all are amazing with their words, and we all being privileged to hear their words. Please bring a louder hand for each one of them sitting on the dais. Now I would request our President ICA, Mr. Damien Cody, to please take over the mic.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our colleagues and industry friends in India for having us here in Jaipur, this beautiful city, this beautiful country. To my Sicilian brother, Gaetano, thank you. I can assure you that ICA will be working very closely with CIBJO on all the wonderful projects that are being done. And I encourage all of you in the room to do what you can to support the efforts of CIBJO in the various projects that are underway. These last few years have been quite tumultuous. We've seen quite a lot of disruptions to our industry. And I'd like to just kind of briefly touch on how it sits at the moment, a bit of a snapshot. Supply seems to be extremely difficult. We are seeing far less material in the marketplace, and we're seeing it at much higher prices. It's probably fair to say that inventories are shrinking. Many small-scale miners seem to be unable to move goods during COVID. As a result, many have left the industry for, I guess, different lines of work. Buyers, brokers and dealers were unable to go to the source. Cutters and processors saw production flows diminish. As a consequence of all this, many along the supply chain had to find alternative sources of income. There are a number of trade sanctions around the world that are impacting our supply. The conflict zones, including Russia, Myanmar, and Afghanistan, to name a few. In the markets, we've seen China endure a very long period of interruption from COVID. China accounts for 1/3 of the purchases of luxury goods in the globe. So this long shutdown of China had a profound effect on the trade of coloured gemstones and luxury goods. It will take some time to recover, but the beautiful gemstone industry has endured for thousands of years, and it will continue to endure. In 2021, the sales of coloured gemstones in China increased by an incredible 315% over the previous year, which was 1.5 billion. The potential for growth in China is enormous. The potential for growth in India is enormous. We have a very bright future in our gemstone and jewellery industries. The gem and jewellery trade fairs around the world have recommenced and have largely been sold out as traders scramble to meet their customers again face to face. It appears that the organisers of the trade shows are charging much higher prices for space, with probably the need to make up for the lost ground that they endured during that tumultuous period. Time will tell as to whether those increased demands on traders can be sustained. It will only come, of course, if the industry prospers. Most retail markets around the developed world enjoyed strong consumer demand during the pandemic. And it is only in recent months that we're seeing some consumer nervousness surrounding inflationary impacts and rises in interest rates. At the top end of the market, we are seeing very strong demand, and high prices are being borne out at many of the auctions and tenders. The impact of synthetics has grown over this period. At ICA, we promote natural coloured gemstones and full disclosure. So the proliferation of lab-created gems is seen by us as a big disruptor. It has a place in the marketplace, but the marketing needs to be controlled. We need to have clear, unambiguous terms. Descriptions and full disclosure needs to be applied throughout the supply chain. Unfortunately, we are seeing way too much evidence that the opposite is occurring, and this does little for consumer confidence and trust. And without that, we don't have an industry. Environment and sustainability. Consumers are demanding far more from us these days. This is being felt all the way through the supply chain. I believe that consumers need to be a little careful what they wish for. In the coloured gemstone industry, for instance, complete transparency is near on impossible for most gemstones. At ICA, we are encouraging members to adopt continuous improvement within their organisations, to be the best version of themselves when it comes to ethics and responsibility. Efforts to improve ESG performance throughout the supply chain is to be commended. However, pushing too hard a line can have unintended consequences. And those consequences will be felt where people can least afford it, and that is in the artisanal small mining sector. Well, I think what we need to do as an industry is celebrate all the beautiful stories that abound in our incredible industry. The small artisanal communities around the world that are producing 80% of the coloured gemstones. The multi-generational families of cutters and traders, especially in countries like India and Sri Lanka. There are wonderful stories. Too many stories and not enough time, unfortunately, but we should celebrate them. I wish all the delegates here a fantastic Congress and happy times ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank Thank you so much, sir, for all of your words. And now to the beauty on the dais, I am moving towards the President of World Diamond Council, Ms. Feriel Zerouki. Please bring your hands together for her.
Honorable Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri, President of our CIBJO, Mr. Vipul Shah, Chairman of the GJEPC, Mr. Pramod Agrawal, Vice President, CIBJO India, and Chairman of NGJCI, Mr. Arulanandan, Director, Department of Commerce, Government of India, Mr. Yoram Dvash, President of the WFDB, Mr. Damien, Cody, President of ICA, Captains of Industry, all protocols observed. Namaskar. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is wonderful to be here in the heart of the jewelry industry, the enchanting city of Jaipur. India has always been the heartbeat of the jewelry sector, but this country also holds a special place in my heart. It is where I fell in love with my lovely husband and where we celebrated our honeymoon in the beautiful city of Udaipur after he put a diamond on it. In our industry, India continues to play an increasingly central role in the global jewelry business. Having long held a key position in the middle of the jewelry supply chains, thanks to the nation's famed craftsmanship, India is becoming known for much more than just its traditional focus on cutting, polishing, and jewelry manufacturing, as it's growing rapidly to become one of the world's leading consumer countries in its own right. It is always exciting to be in a place where the passion for, the knowledge of, and the expertise in jewelry is all-encompassing. Regrettably, however, as many have mentioned, we do gather here today at a time when many of our businesses are feeling the pressure from the wider economic landscape that currently prevails. Global events outside of our control have dampened demand for jewelry in many key locations around the world. But it's really important that we do remember that this is a long-term, cyclical business. And while going through cycles is very, very challenging, we must remember that they are called cycles for a reason. Eventually, the cycle turns and we experience the upswing in demand. So let's work now to be ready to capture these opportunities when the times turn. We will need to think long-term and make sure we understand how the industry can best respond to evolving consumer interests and expectations. And one of the clearest trends over recent years is the growing consumer focus on issues of responsibility, sustainability, and provenance. This is why I would like to personally thank Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri for gathering us here this week to sharpen our focus on such issues. Thank you. It's heartening to see the progress that the industry has already made in all of these areas, with sustainability considerations having long been at the forefront of many of our conversations and many of the initiatives that we see, especially here in India. But this is an era and an area that never stands still. And we must make sure that we are able to position the jewelry sector as a leader in this field, especially with the products we sell being so emotionally significant to life's most precious moments. This is why industry bodies such as CIBJO, with its focus on consumer confidence, responsible sourcing, and sustainability initiatives, is so important. And this is also why events such as the ones that we are all gathered here for today are so vital for our futures. And so I really thank our host, CIBJO India, for bringing us together today as well. Thank you. With this in mind, I really do look forward to fruitful discussions that will enable us to share our perspectives on key issues we must address in support of consumer confidence. We must find equitable, effective solutions that will help continue to position us all for the long term. I really would like to thank Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri, Mr. Vipul Shah, and Mr. Yoram Dvash, CIBJO, GJEPC, WFDB, for their unwavering support, collaboration, transparency in the development of the G7 Diamond Protocol, an industry solution that is going to be effective, practical, accessible to everybody, transparent, and in support of the G7 objectives, which are so important to all of us. Let's make the most of our time here in Jaipur, also known as the City of Love, so we can make sure that the consumer love affair with the beautiful jewelry that we create continues long into our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And as you all know, we were talking about the support of Department of Commerce, Ministry and Commerce of Industry, Government of India. Talking about them, the support has come to us by the chief guest today with all of us. He is not able to attend physically, but of course, he knows that we all are sitting and waiting for his words. So, because of his prior commitments to move to abroad, he has shared us a video. I would really request my team to please roll in the video of our Honorable Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Ji Goyal.
President CIBJO Dr. Cavalieri, Chairman GJEPC Shri Vipul Shah, and Chairman NGJCI Shri Pramod Agrawal, members of the German jewellery industry and fellow enthusiasts of this world of sparkle and shine. Namaskar. Delighted to address you all at the CIBJO Congress, an event where gems of the industry unite. I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests from around the world. In the spirit of Bharat's ageless tradition of Atithi Deva Bhava, guest is like God. Please enjoy our warm hospitality. May your life be filled with our exquisite cuisine and successful business engagements. I sincerely regret not being able to join you in person on this momentous occasion. However, I am confident that we'll have many more opportunities to connect in the future. This event marks a historic moment as it is the first time that it is being held on Indian soil. The Congress taking place in Jaipur, the magnificent Pink City, is more than just a location. Hosting the CIBJO conference here is a testament to the tremendous potential that India holds, not only as a market, but also as a global manufacturing hub. The G20 summit signifies India's emergence as a global leader. It's a symbol of the vibrant spirit of artisans and rich history of our gem and jewelry industry that is sought to be represented in Jaipur. The industry has the power of and promise to realize the goal of local goes global. 14 out of every 15 diamonds set in jewelry worldwide are meticulously processed in India. The gem and jewelry sector has always been a key player in our economy, contributing nearly 10% to India's merchandise exports annually and employing nearly 5 million people. The Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision is to make India number one in the gem and jewelry sector, not only with made in India products, but also focusing on designed in India. India is not just a destination for jewelry, it is a destination for ideas, creativity, and progress. India has always been known as the land of gems and jewels. The intricate workmanship and sheer artistry of our jewelry creations are unparalleled. India's legacy in this industry stretches back centuries and continues to evolve, embracing modern trends and technologies while honoring our traditional roots. Our lab-grown diamond industry is rising, championing sustainability at every step of the way. The Surat Diamond Bourses, the world's largest building, will become the hub of all diamond trading activities. As we move forward, let us explore the possibilities for collaboration and sustainable practices and pave the way for a brighter future for the gem and jewelry industry. Together, we can ensure that this Congress marks the beginning of a new era of prosperity and inclusivity for the global jewelry and gemstone community. I hope this event will give you an opportunity to engage and expand. May this event be the spark that ignites a brilliant future for all of us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Marking his presence here, I could feel that he was here to talk to all of us. Now the time has come to bring in the CIBJO Working Committee member, Mr. Bhanushali, to the stage to take over the mic. I request him to please come on the stage and address the audience. Done. Thank you so much. With this, I would request to take away with the panel discussions. Sure. I would really request everyone to. So with this, I am taking the opportunity to thank each one of you for being here with all of us. And of course, as Sir said, a quick coffee break, and then we'll always be back with the panel discussion.
The Gemological Institute of America is a nonprofit research and education organization for the gem and jewelry industry. Its mission is to protect